what it's like to be a camp counselor at Lifetime Fitness and how to do it properly. Being a camp counselor is a very rewarding experience, but also takes a great responsibility to excel at. Kids look up to you and view you as one of the coolest people ever, but you also have to understand the rules and regulations that go to being a good camp counselor. One must understand how to set up the camp in the morning, understand the safety rules, deal with the kids, and generally just kind of keep everything afloat at camp. And also you have to have fun while doing it, of course. By understanding the proper way to run a summer camp, it can be very fun, very rewarding, very exciting, and as I said, very safe. If you follow these rules and precautions, it'll end up being a much better camp in the end. The first big thing about running a camp is you have to be able to understand the kids and how to deal with them. The kids are what make up the camp, they're what make it fun, but they also make it very dangerous, very hectic, so you have to be in control, know what you're doing. They also have to have a good time, but as I said, safety is the most important thing, even over their fun. Sometimes they hate that fact, but it is true. You have to have the kids in a proper age group. You have to have 5 and 6 year olds together, 7 and 9 year olds together, 10 and 12 year olds together. You don't want to be mixing up on improper ages because it leads to you having to do games that aren't fit for the kids, different rules for different sets of kids. It just makes it much easier. It's important to not have older or younger kids playing games like dodgeball or football, or having older kids play games like Duck, Duck, Goose. It's a quick way of getting to be really unsafe or just really boring. If a kid is seen crying or lonely in a corner, it's your job to go up to him and make him feel included. Just kind of do the responsible thing, make sure he feels like he's having a good time. Because really, as I said, his safety and his well-being are your primary concerns, and that includes him having a good time. You have to discipline kids when necessary. You have to use age-appropriate punishments. I like to do for however old they are, just put them in timeout for that many minutes. The younger kids get a little restless, so it's nice to do maybe 5-minute timeouts for 5-year-olds and so on. By understanding and appreciating all of the kids, it's easy to have a good time with them and enjoy the camp. The second big step in being a good camp counselor is you also have to understand the parents that you're dealing with. Like the kids, it's important to make sure the parents are very informed with what's going on in the camp and very satisfied with how it's being run. You have to make sure to give the parents all the proper paperwork, all the available announcements that are given to them so they know what's going on with the camp and how everything is working. It's important to walk the parent through camp, let them know what their child is going to be doing, whether it be rock climbing or swimming. If there's anything that they don't feel comfortable with, they'll know, so then they can tell you. It's important to have proper communication with them at all times. You want the parent to feel really just comfortable sending their kid off, because a lot of parents have some separation issues, especially for the younger kids. Sometimes the first time their parents are sending them off, so it's important to just make sure they're really comfortable. Lastly, most important part of being a counselor, as I've said, is safety. That's the number one priority at all times. We have activities such as rock climbing, swimming. We have a turf field for football and soccer. And those are all really dangerous places. You want to make sure that the rock wall is safe. You don't want any loose wires or harnesses for swimming. You have to understand CPR and first aid in case of a kid drowning. So really, it's just really important to understand all the rules, all the regulations, because safety comes first. You have to understand the codes, such as code green, code blue, all the different codes that the camp tells you to learn, because those are quick, easy ways to communicate with your boss in case of an emergency, and those are just things you really have to memorize and keep in the back of your mind at all times. We go on field trips every Wednesday, which is obviously a very, very, very fun time for the kids, but also very dangerous. It's very easy to lose a kid when you're at Splashtown or the circus or anywhere really. So it's just important to keep all the rules, all the safety regulations in your mind. Also just know where your kids are at all times. Make sure you're doing proper head counts every so often, just because that's what you need to do to be safe. Safety is the key part of the camp, and one wrong step can just be really dangerous. So it's important to make sure that just those situations never happen. So in conclusion, camp is supposed to be fun, and that's what it is, but it's also important that you just understand what you're doing. You have to understand all the training, all the regulations, because really understanding the rules helps you just run a better camp. And a better camp is not only safe, but also a whole lot more fun. So if you know the rules, you can understand where the parents are coming from, you can understand the kids, and that's how you run a successful camp. So I appreciate y'all listening to my speech, and I thank y'all for your time.
Very good.
Steph, come back here.
I'm coming back.
You're good. You're good.
Hey, Kathleen.
Hello.